Today on Built to Last, singing in the shine.
Well, he electrified the blues, and that's really the Chicago blues sound.
Raising musicians and a symbol for the world. It's time for Built to Last. Built to Last is brought to you by the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters, Labor and Management Committee, and the Boy Scouts of America Pathway to Adventure Council.
Welcome to Built to Last. I'm Monica Pedersen.
And I'm Mark Nilsson. And as you could tell from the symphony of hammers and saws, we're here at the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters Apprentice and Training Center.
Speaking of symphonies, while the sound of woodworking certainly is music to carpenters' ears, the city of Chicago has a tune for every taste.
I listened to a lot of music growing up. More of an alternative crew.
Modern folk music, kind of John Mayer, Jason Mraz.
I listen to a lot of Spanish music.
I love classical music. I'm a big opera fan.
Chicago is a multicultural city, so music is a multicultural thing here too.
Well, the history of music in Chicago really started as Chicago became more of an industrial city.
As the city grew, the need for labor drew people from around the world. And as people flocked to the city for jobs, they brought their music too.
We have a long tradition of folk music, ethnic music.
You had James Cleveland, who is the father of contemporary gospel music. He's from Chicago. You had Thomas Dorsey, who was really the father of gospel. Chicago. You had Mahalia Jackson, Chicago.
This was the heart of jazz and swing through the 20s, 30s, and 40s, dance music. When Muddy Waters came from the south up here to Chicago, he electrified the blues, and that's really the Chicago blues sound.
R&B. You had Brunswick records. You had Future records here. You had VJ records here.
There was the big battle between pop music that us kids wanted to listen to and country music that our parents wanted to listen to.
We go from Benny Goodman to Chance the Rapper, so we've been a seed for great music and great musicians.
The conservatories here have served Chicago very well. And that's what's so cool is that you got jazz, blues, gospel, classical. I mean, Ricardo Moody is the man.
My name is Joshua Moon. I play piano.
Joshua, he is my fifth child. We knew he was extremely smart because he was reading before he even went to school. So, went to school, he struggled, we struggled.
My mom read someplace that music was able to help math scores and everything.
My wife said, you know what, enough of this, take him to get music lessons.
Music education is part of not only Chicago culture, but American culture.
I went to the Chicago Conservatory of Music. Herbie Hancock was at Roosevelt. Quincy Jones studied here.
I go to Merit School of Music. I've been going here for 4 or 5 years now, and it's just really been a great help, not only in my education, but also the opportunities that they provide me with. For example, this summer, I'm going to be playing with the National Youth Orchestra, New York and Miami. My dream was to play with the CSO, the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, and to perform at Orchestra Hall in Chicago, and I was able to perform at Orchestra Hall.
He does this so naturally, it's just second nature to him. He zones. Ricardo Muti at Orchestra Hall said that he believed Joshua was channeling Mozart.
Pianist and musician are two different things. Like, you can be a good pianist and not really a great musician.
Because the United States is still one of the great places for music education in colleges and universities, people come here, they know Chicago Symphony is where they want to be. And that's a goal for virtually all musicians want to be in an orchestra of that quality if their goal is being in an orchestra.
And it's always been like that. And people know more about us in Chicago around the world. Because of Joshua, we travel around the world. He performs around the world. And people always ask him, how is it, you know, is Roosevelt still good? Is Chicago Conservatory still there?
Places like DePaul, Roosevelt, Northwestern have done is really kept a conservatory quality of education available to students.
All this millwork in this building is all designed around sound. There's not one straight piece of wood in this building.
You would have told me 5 years ago that we would have had close to 1,000 people on the street doing good things for the community. I'd have said, I don't know where we're gonna get them from. This is all about changing stuff in the neighborhood where people don't have the wherewithal or the financial resources to do something.
A lot of times you're going to see somebody actually break down in tears.
The press doesn't cover this. This is something we do because it's the right thing to do.
IBEW Local 134. We give back to the communities where we live and to those who need it most.
Every boy needs a foundation he can stand on, to embrace opportunity, to overcome obstacles. Because this is the time to equip a boy with what he needs for where he's going. And where he's going is anywhere he wants.
Keeping restaurants and hotels up to date with the latest design trends is a constant challenge. Finding qualified contractors isn't at finishingchicago.com. We work with top designers and general contractors who use the latest painting, drywall finishing, and wall covering techniques in Chicagoland's premier hotels and restaurants. The hospitality industry relies on finishingchicago.com as its free resource to find quality finishing contractors. For a great finish, start with finishingchicago.com.
Skilled union hands are building the incredible new facilities for the DePaul School of Music, where the next generation of great musicians will learn their craft. Now that's music to my ears.
All this millwork in this building is all designed around sound. It's all density in the panels, it's all the waves of the panels. There's not one straight piece of wood in this building.
Every room has its own purpose, and every little bit down to the baseboard has its own way of venting sound.
I've been in the industry for almost 30 years, and this has probably been the most unique and most craftsmanship job that I've ever been involved with.
At DePaul University, construction is nearing completion on the School of Music's Holt-Schneider Performance Center. The building is a temple to sound, with classrooms, rehearsal spaces, and recital halls to suit any ensemble, culminating in a 500-seat concert hall, all designed and constructed with the highest acoustic standards.
The sequencing in this job was very challenging. It was very good that we had fantastic subcontractors, the carpenters, electricians, everyone worked together, because a lot of these rooms in this building were very, very difficult.
For instance, I mean, usually you frame walls and put drywall on them. Well, these walls would be battered on an angle, rubber gaskets so nothing attaches. One of the most technical difficulties was the space, the concert hall. It's actually a 65-foot freestanding concrete building inside of the building.
The idea behind that is that they're making it acoustically sensitive, so nothing's actually tied in. Even if you're talking about electrical, we have to whip in, so nothing actually ties the building we're standing in now to that concert hall over there.
But the millwork gives it that wow effect when you walk in. It's like, wow. And what do you look at? The millwork.
The curved wood was basically designed by sound engineers to disperse the sound and create stop reverb and so forth from happening within the space.
Wood comes flat and long. It doesn't come curved. You could not do it in solid lumber. The trees honestly don't grow big enough. So you need to select a large tree where all of the grain sequences and matches, all that color is the same. And then you need to be able to lay that up to match vertically and horizontally across not only that panel, but across the room.
These panels are real heavy. There's 6 layers of MDF, which is fire-rated MDF, which makes them real heavy. So we had to come up with an idea how to lift these panels in place, which is how we engineered the hoist and the hang cranks. And it takes a lot of guys to get these panels up in the wall.
Ready?
Our team is kind of like an orchestra where you got a million different pieces running together and everyone has to have the same process and everyone has to be on the same idea and wavelength.
Most millworkers don't do much framing and most framers don't do much millwork. So we actually have both types of carpenters here, which helped out immensely.
The veneer work is beautiful. Everything is lined up. It's the details that really bring all this together.
That same care and attention to detail is reflected in every room in the building, even the smallest rehearsal room.
Those little rehearsal rooms are impeccably engineered for sound and sound reflection.
The interior of the rooms is totally independent of the structure.
So no vibration can transfer to any room, so none of the students are interfered from another student next door.
So just the designing itself was hard enough, and then to follow the criteria that they passed along to us took some very talented gentlemen.
You couldn't have regular like bungalow builders or house builders. This had to be unique craftsmen, the best of the best, I should say.
Your first focus is on the task at hand, but then as the project starts to come together, you really start thinking about the people that will be looking at it, using it every day, seeing it every day.
I've actually seen people walking up, looking up at the building, and they actually walk into each other, and whoa, it's like, because I keep looking up at the building.
I truly believe that the students will appreciate what we did. They always stop and talk to us and ask what's going on, so they're definitely interested.
And when the Holt Schneider Center opens, it will host more than 300 free concerts a year.
This is something that people are going to be talking forever about.
It actually means a lot to me because I live just right down the street.
I've been next door, listened to the musicians, how good they actually are.
And it's actually great to be in this area to know that later on when I'm finished, I can myself come back here and maybe see, an orchestra.
I will be here for the first performance and many more after.
Since 1994, juniors in the music education program at DePaul University have gained valuable experience teaching music at elementary schools in Chicago.
As I got older, my dad got me into the blues and showed me a Buddy Guy, Johnny Lang. I wanted to play like that.
When you need a concrete contractor for your commercial project, you can't waste time waiting through countless unproven contractors who don't specialize in the job type you need or service your area. ConcreteIL.com lets you browse Northern Illinois' top contractors to find the perfect fit for your exact needs. You can filter our vetted list of contractors by both job type and location, and even request proposals directly through the site. Thinking commercial concrete? Think ConcreteIL.com.
At Armstrong Ceiling and Wall Solutions, we take great pride in making a positive difference in the lives of people. With the broadest portfolio in the industry and the technical performance to back it up, you can design and install with confidence. Our ceiling construction expertise, training, and pre-engineered ceiling solutions make it easy for you to seamlessly transition from one end of the building to the other. Improve construction efficiencies and keep every job on time, on budget, and on the mark with Armstrong Ceiling and Wall Solutions. Faster, easier, better.
For one carpenter, working on the DePaul School of Music struck a truly personal chord. Jeff Carroll has been putting in a lot of hard work as a carpenter on the DePaul Music Center's new buildings. His expert skills have been nurtured through the variety of challenging projects he has encountered in his 30 years of doing the work.
I worked in the deep tunnels, high rises, bridges, just about everything a commercial carpenter can do. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing what I was born to do. I'm very passionate about my work and every aspect of it. And through all this, I talk with my sons on the weekend and they express a passion. They'd see how much I'd light up, like, oh, you should have seen what we did this week. And my boys would get excited for me.
We respected what he did, his craft. He does it all. I'm coming home crusty with concrete and this and that, and we loved that. We loved the smell of it. We loved playing with his filthy tools when he'd bring them home and him showing us how to use them.
They couldn't wait to get a piece of wood when they were young and whittle on it.
All three of us at a point when in our teens had asked Dad, like, hey, could we come apprentice and come check out the job site? And I was one of the main ones. He just wasn't as quick to be like, yeah, let me take you up there. He was like, well, why don't you take it easy on your hands, you know, with the guitar, like, you know. I was like, all right. My name is Lupe Carroll. I'm a professional musician. I've been playing for around about 17 years or so. Today I'm playing at the farmer's market here in Kankakee. But yeah, 20 years this has been going on. I've been playing at it for close to 15 years, I think.
Rest your mind, baby. Go ahead and really off, shut it down.
I've heard these songs over and over, and each time I hear them, it's like the first time. There's still times that they bring a tear, that he's so good at bringing out the feeling.
Thank you very much. My mom was really into like Motown and disco and mariachi music and all that stuff. And we grew up, we're half Mexican, half Irish, so like family parties were nothing but like dancing and good times. So I mean, it's just, you knew how to enjoy that music. As I got older, my dad got me into the blues and showed me a buddy guy, Johnny Lang. I wanted to play like that.
We bought him a real cheap guitar on a trip to Mexico that once he picked it up, he just never put it down.
He put a 9-volt battery in the guitar and there was a switch on, it had a little built-in amp. It sounded terrible, but I kind of taught myself how to play on that.
I wanted to nurture my son's talent and not shut him in a back room where we couldn't hear him. And the more we encouraged him, the more he went with it. Some friends tricked him into going, he thought was a open mic night up in the city. And it turned out that was the first step of a competition. He saw an opportunity to try out for the boys when they came to the city.
Lupe's stunning performance of If I Were a Carpenter got the attention of Judge CeeLo Green, who ultimately buzzed him in and became his coach. Lupe competed well, making it to a face-off round of the show.
It was just crazy going out there. I'd never flown commercially. I'd never been to California, anything like that. You know, I've traveled around the Midwest for music and played pubs and bars and stuff like that and smaller venues. So that definitely got my foot in some pretty big doors and stuff. So that was really cool.
He wasn't into the whole image thing. He really appreciates music, but likes it to be about the music, not about the person's image.
'Cause I'm coming on home to you.
My wife plays cello. Melissa is her name. She's incredible at the cello, very passionate about music. A mutual friend introduced us. We just had our firstborn a couple weeks ago.
Thank you.
I really, truly, I'm half and half with wanting him to get into woodwork and working with his hands, and I also hope like crazy that he wants to pick the guitar up or the drums up, and I'm really hoping to jam with my son one day. So whatever the heck he wants to do, I'm gonna stick that in his head, that just do it right, do it well, work hard at it.
A tear fell from my father's eye. I wonder what my dad would say. He'd say, I love you and I'm proud of you three in so many different ways.
Just throughout the week, he'll send me a different picture on his phone. He goes, man, check this out. This is a sound baffler thing, handmade in England. It's like it tells me how. I'm like, Dad, I know how it works, but I'm like, that's super awesome though that you're, like, I would love to even like lay my hands on something like that, and you're installing them right now.
To be a part of other kids coming in and learning at that university and starting their careers there, it means a lot to me.
Always remember there was nothing worth sharing like the love that let us share our name.
Of course, I never had to have a sculpture pass a fire inspection, but since there's actually a flame inside of this one.
The all-new SkillSaw heavy-duty worm drive table saw with stand. The world's only full-size table saw with worm drive gearing. Delivering unmatched durability, unwavering power, and unrivaled torque. So you get better results. Faster. Nothing compares to worm drive gearing. SkillSaw. Stay true.
No matter the challenge you're facing on your job site, rely on Ardex for a system of solutions. Leading the way in the tiling and flooring industry, Ardex has followed its vision to be the leader of specialty building materials for 40 years. When you require exceptional performance, when you need trusted solutions, Ardex is up for the challenge.
Meet the new family of Blaze laser measures from Bosch. Go ahead, turn it on and start measuring. It's that simple. The Blaze family offers a wide range of functions to tackle any measuring job. Extend your reach with accuracy up to a 1/16 of an inch. With Bluetooth-enabled devices, easily transfer measurements to your smartphone or tablet with free Bosch apps. Reach farther, work faster, and stay accurate with the Bosch Blaze family of laser measures. Measure on.
Welcome back to Built to Last. The Special Olympics are a global symbol for achievement and true strength. And the symbol of the Special Olympics is coming to America.
3 million people a year walk right past this site where we're standing right now, going to a Bears game, to the Field Museum, going to the harbors, going to the beaches, and it's going to be a great backdrop for the Eternal Flame.
At the birth location of the Special Olympics, a new permanent installation of the Eternal Flame of Hope will be unveiled to forever commemorate the inclusion of special needs athletes.
Because Chicago's labor movement donated their time when it first started in 1968.
We are creating this appreciation for all individuals.
Inclusion is basically what the forefront of this whole organization is.
I've been involved in Special Olympics since I worked for the Park District back in 1993. A lot of people in the city of Chicago don't even realize that Special Olympics started here 50 years ago. And our tourists certainly don't realize this. So everyone who comes into the museum campus, the first thing they're going to see is this beautiful 30-foot sculpture.
The nature of this site, between the two iconic structures that we have, we've got Soldier Field on the south and the Field Museum on the north. So we're in the middle of a passageway down McFetrich that brings people to the Museum Park campus. So there's a confluence of art, education, science, and sport. And if you put that all together in one spot and you pass that, and then you're acknowledging the folks that we're acknowledging here, it's a monumental site.
This unbelievable international phenomenon started in our city 50 years ago. July 20th, 2018, we'll celebrate our 50th. 10 years ago, we obviously celebrated our 40th, and we had a beautiful sculpture commissioned by Richard Hunt, who is doing our Eternal Flame.
I was approached by people from Special Olympics, particularly Ann Burke, who said, well, we're going to do this 50th anniversary and we're going to have this Eternal Flame, and we'd like a sculpture that represented that.
The depth to which the neighborhoods, the labor organizations, the practicing professionals of all design dimensions come together to create such incredible spaces.
So more than being something that an artist conceives and makes, this is a piece that combines, the artistry of the sculpture, but the skill and artistry of structural engineers, mechanical engineers.
But you can go from 4 inches to 8 inches. So McHugh's was one of the founders of Special Olympics, so pretty much any project that's going to have Special Olympics involved, McHugh is going to be involved. We just actually mobilized this last week with getting our concrete crew going.
And pyrotechnician. Of course, I never had to have a sculpture pass a fire inspection, but since there's actually a flame inside of this one.
There's obviously a gas line that goes to the sculpture, so we're getting all those parts and pieces ready. There's the two flames on the sculpture. There's the one that'll be the eternal flame that'll be lit all times. And then there's the one that will be for ceremonies that will grow. So the artists build the sculpture.
And then the unions are helping us out. When we put this up, it's going to be a very, very long task. We're going to have to take this 30-foot sculpture and bring it down Stevenson Expressway, bring it right to Soldier Field, all as one, and then erect it. So we're going to have a lot of skilled labor helping us with the erection of it.
Once the sculpture's set, then we can start to do the trial runs and kind of do the tweaking and make sure that when it's game time, that everything works properly.
There are some benches that go along here and a donor path, and then some lighting. And of course, we have the beautiful ginkgo trees to take a break out of the sun. When you have a group of trees like this on both sides, it's designed to be a welcoming site as you come into the campus. Because anytime you place sculpture or a piece of art in the public way, it creates an opportunity for people to stop, look, think about it. There's always evokes some response, and a lot of time that's visceral. The flame is going to do that. It's going to be a magnet. It's going to be a magnet for people. It's going to be a magnet for stories. It's going to be a magnet for international gathering.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, good,
Oh my
good.
gosh,
Yes.
it's wonderful to be
It's
here.
an honor. I'm basically here as a part of the Global Sports Mentoring Program, which is a US State Department-run exchange program. And as a part of that program, I happened to come to Chicago, and I really look forward to taking my experiences with the people who I'm meeting here, with people like Justice Ann Burke, and take it all back to Pakistan so that we can do more and more back in our program as well. Special Olympics around the world is making the world a better place.
For years, when we would have our international competitions, we would light our flame off of the flame of the Olympics in Athens. Now they're going to come to Chicago, where the Special Olympics was born. They're going to light the flame, take it around the world to where the games are going to be. So if this brings more awareness, more money, and more opportunity for our athletes to participate, we've done our job.
It's very rewarding because we see what we do. We see the smiles on the kids' face. That's what we get rewarded by.
Whenever I reflect upon special athletes, I always feel that they have that certain element of genuineness, that authenticity, something that we might have lost in our early childhoods. It's something that is so beautiful that if all of us can maybe hold on to a little bit of that, it would just make this world a better place.
That's all for this episode of Built to Last.
Remember to check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Tune in next time when, like the great composer, we'll be back. Or is that Schwarzenegger?
It's not bod.